Coming up on UCF Nightly News. 4 high-ranking university employees are jobless following an investigation into how UCF misused millions of dollars on construction-related projects.
UCF is now offering a new degree program that is gaining a lot of attention as being one of the first of its kind in the country.
And how a small startup on campus is working to get their award-winning product distributed.
In sports, we'll have an update on UCF quarterback Mackenzie Milton and his progress so far.
Nightly News starts now. Good afternoon and welcome to Nightly News. Thanks for tuning in with us today. I'm Zachary Winicky.
And I'm Tanisha Breidenbach. Today is Friday, January 25th, 2019.
Florida's Secretary of State is resigning after pictures surfaced on the internet. The recently released photographs show Michael Erdahl wearing blackface. Erdahl served as the Seminole County Supervisor of Elections prior to this position. He was appointed earlier this year by Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. He resigned immediately after the 14-year-old photos emerged. DeSantis says he accepts Erdahl's resignation. He says the situation is unfortunate, but Erdahl has done good work. UCF Board of Trustees cut jobs and bonuses this week for some connected to the misuse fund investigation. Nightly News reporter Shania Richburg has more on how the investigation unfolded.
Something reeks and smells very badly.
5 people out of a job and President Dale Whitaker out of a bonus. This comes after an investigation revealed a misuse of school funds.
It's definitely good that we use the funds to build a building, because while curriculum is important, so are facilities. But I think going forward, we should be open and honest with our students, because the funds directly affect us the most.
UCF hired a law firm to investigate the misuse of $38 million. The money was used to construct the new Trevor Colburn Hall. President Whitaker revealed last Friday that a total of $85 million was used or planned to be used for future construction projects.
President Whitaker was interviewed as part of the Colburn Hall investigation. He said in a statement that he did know that E&G funds were used to construct this building, but was never told and never knew that using E&G funds was inappropriate.
The UCF Board of Trustees decided not to continue to investigate the remaining $47 million of misused funds. They decided not to spend any more money on the inquiry.
I've been very committed to and respectful of your investigation. And frankly, at times it's been difficult to keep the silence and not to respond to assertions, but I've been respectful of it, and I've honored that commitment.
The firings come 4 months after a resignation from former Chief Financial Officer Bill Merck, who resigned last September. In Orlando, Shania Richburg, UCF Nightly News.
The board decided not to continue the investigation, but did pursue disciplinary action. 2 years worth of performance bonuses will be stripped away from President Whitaker to cover his time as provost, and Merck will not receive the rest of his unpaid bonuses totaling around $93,000.
In early January, UCF announced a new faculty position focusing on grants for science research. UCF professor Saiful Kwandeker has been named faculty fellow in the Office of Research. Kwandeker will be in charge of helping faculty apply for grants with the national science organizations such as the Department of Energy and NASA. He says that throughout his career, he has made many great mentors and can't wait to be one himself.
I'm really honored. I feel, that the administration trusted me on this opportunity, on this responsibility, and giving me this opportunity.
By 2020, UCF hopes to double the amount of research funding to $250 million through this new research position. Kwandeker is already reaching out to faculty that he thinks could benefit from this mentorship position.
Speaking of new faculty, UCF is looking for a Vice President of Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion.
UCF is actually already starting to narrow down the candidates. Erin, what else can you tell us about the search?
Thanks Tanisha and Zach. UCF is hosting open forums to help select one candidate to become the Vice President of Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion. There are 4 candidates in total and 1 forum for each candidate. They begin on Tuesday and will end later this evening at 5 p.m. The 4 candidates include Dr. Gregory J. Vincent, Cherie M. Owen, Dr. Carlos Medina, and Monica Diaz. Diaz is the last to speak at 5 p.m. today. Malcolm Butler, co-chair of the search committee, says the forums lets the UCF community get to know each and every candidate. While sharing their concerns with each candidate, Butler says the position stemmed from a concern that the UCF faculty wasn't as diverse as its students. Butler says the vice president will make sure UCF is diverse, inclusive, and equal across all departments and aspects of campus. Along with the new position, an Office of Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion will be made as well. The search committee will meet on Monday to make a recommendation, but President Dale Whitaker has the final say in the decision on who gets the position. We'll make sure to keep you updated when a final decision is made. Back to Tanisha and Zach at the desk.
Last semester, UCF started a new program that was made to help students who can't afford their GED textbooks. Well, with the success last semester, the program is now looking for new ways to add more books. Brianna Sorensen has more on how the program is planning on expanding in 2019.
Program in order to help students struggling to afford textbooks. The program provides general education development or GED textbooks that UCF says can range between $12 to $342.
So this is one of the intro level classes, Chem 2045, and this one is, I believe, close to $300.
UCF Library's Director of Research and Engagement, Dr. Penny Bale, says that the program was originally given only $10,000 to buy textbooks.
So we ended up buying 57 items, and whenever we had some university administrators come over and look at the collection, and they're like, is that all? It's like, this is what you get for $10,000. And so you can really see that our students might be impacted by the cost of these textbook materials.
Within the first 9 weeks of the opening of the program, textbooks were checked out more than 1,100 times. And with last year's textbook lending program success, they're looking for more books to add to the shelves in 2019.
Faculty, when they heard of it, start donating materials. And we've actually had some students starting to donate materials as well. So we hope to, kind of spread it out that way.
UCF hopes to continue to grow the textbook lending program by hiring a textbook affordability librarian starting in March. Reporting in the John C. Hitt Library, Brianna Sorensen, UCF Nightly News.
The textbook lending program is also planning on adding ebooks into the mix soon. Students who wish to rent out a textbook can do so in the front lobby of the John C. Hitt Library.
UCF Career Services and Experiential Learning is wrapping up their Career Readiness Week on campus today. Burning Glass Technology says underemployment for recent graduates is at an all-time high of 44%. UCF is working to combat that problem. Career Services held events all week to help students become more prepared for life after college. Some events included resume critiques, professional headshots, networking strategies, and preparation for the UCF Career Expo. On January 29th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., different employers will be at the CFE Arena for a Career Expo. The employers will have information sessions and conduct interviews for jobs and internship opportunities at the Expo.
I was not expecting it to be so chilly this morning.
Me either, Zach. Bree, what's going on with our current weather conditions?
Yeah, you guys, just like the rest of the week, today will not get any warmer. The temperature is 48 degrees, so make sure you wear a jacket outside with the wind direction of going northwest and the wind speed at 9 miles per hour. The humidity is also 56%, so not too, it's pretty dry outside. And then the chance of rain is 0%. And while there's no chance of rain in Orlando, let's go ahead and look at the rest of Florida.
In Tallahassee, we have 0%. Jacksonville also 0%, as well as Tampa and Orlando. But Miami, on the other hand, you may want to go outside before you go to the beach because there's a 20% chance of rain. Still not too likely, but you definitely want to check before you go outside. Back to you guys, Tanisha and Zach over at the desk.
On UCF Nightly News, an old military ban is resurfacing and is targeting a certain group. We'll have more about the policy and the individuals it's affecting so far.
Plus, a new source of money for UCF students is on the rise. We'll tell you where this money is coming from and how it will be handled by the university. We'll be right back.
It's about to die.
The Supreme Court is backing President Trump's transgender military ban. The policy, first announced in 2017, was blocked by a federal court in 2018. Now, according to the policy, most trans candidates are banned, except those who are 3 years into their transition, those who are serving under their biological sex, or those who've been diagnosed with gender dysphoria but deemed mentally stable to serve. This comes as a major blow to some in the transgender community.
It's alarming that people will be satisfied with treating the transgender community as less than. It's like, oh, but they've got these protections and rights, but we're just, they don't get all of them.
In 2016, there were more than 8,000 active transgender service members. A spokesperson for the Pentagon released a statement saying the policy is necessary to ensure an effective fighting force.
UCF has a new graduate program track for students interested in creating a unique atmosphere at theme parks, restaurants, museums, and more. Brianna Swartzen has more on why UCF added the new MFA track and how students will benefit within the Orlando area.
Last week, UCF announced a new Master of Fine Arts, or MFA, track in the theater major called Themed Experience. This new program will be one of the first in the country dedicated to the creativity and design of themed experience. The themed experience track focuses on designing environments such as theme parks, restaurants, retail, and other exhibitions. Assistant Dean of College of Arts and Humanities Paul Lartenois says that Orlando is the perfect place for this new track. Starting in the fall of 2019, a selection of students will be walking down these halls right here to go to a variety of classes catered to their themed experience track. The track has already sparked interest from prospective students. UCF is currently taking applications for the new theme track on the College of Graduate Studies website. Reporting in Orlando, Brianna Sorensen, UCF Nightly News.
The fall 2019 application deadline for the themed experience track is April 1st. Students can also find more details on UCF's theater website.
The UCF Board of Trustees created a new initiative to help students pay for college. The Constellation Fund is a $40 million financial aid supply for students in need. The funding aims to help students reduce their debt, alleviate financial struggles, and provide more graduate research fellowships. Data analytics will be used to identify students in need. Vice President of Enrollment Gordon Chavez says the funding committee will be transparent with their spending process.
It grew out of President Dale Whitaker's belief, and that is unanimously supported by the Board of Trustees, that income should not be a predictor of a student's ability to earn a degree.
A team consisting of faculty, academic leaders, and students will work to develop a detailed plan for the funding by the beginning of February. In just a few moments, Brianna Sorensen will be back to tell you what kind of weather you can expect around the UCF area for the next week.
Plus, how one startup company at UCF is soaring and how they went from just an idea to a real product. All of this and more coming up in just a few short minutes. Soar Aerospace, a startup company by UCF students, has begun its takeoff into distributing, which is finally happening after years of failure and hard work. Nightly News reporter Eddie Messel has more on their recent success.
SOAR Aerospace started as just an idea to use drones to help farmers with agriculture. After many failures, the idea of carbon fiber-based drone covers came into fruition. SOAR Aerospace co-founder Mason Mincy says these failures helped them get to where they are now.
But, you know, failure after failure, that's kind of the theme of our whole company here. So when we didn't get past semifinals, we went back to the drawing board, really reconsidered what the idea really was.
After a successful second-place finish in UCF's Joust New Venture competition in 2018, they have hit the ground running. Second place won the students $8,000, which they put right into manufacturing. SOAR has recently just gained 2 distributors to help sell their drone covers, Pyroflip and Race Day Quads. Their advisor, UCF professor Dr. Michael Pape, says the students have blossomed in the last 2 years.
Oh, for sure. They're definitely uptrending. They both taken my class, New Venture Design, and which was really nice to have.
These students are not just looking out for themselves in the future. Their end goal is to make drone racing more stylish and create more jobs in the U.S.
So at the end of the day, we want to add a bit of style and variety into this growing community by introducing a really unique manufacturing process and bring more jobs to the U.S. because for the most part, these machines are made overseas.
SOAR Aerospace is looking to make their mark in the drone industry that is continuing to grow. In Orlando, Eddie Messel, UCF Nightly News.
In the future, the business-savvy students are looking to expand into other project ventures. They say their next goal is to at some point build a drone to help establish their products in the film industry.
You know, the weather's been kind of all over the place this week, from the chilly evenings to the weird rain band we got the other morning. Bree, what can you tell us about the weather coming up this week?
Yeah, today it's going to be pretty chilly. It's going to stay in the 50s and 60s for Florida. We have Tallahassee at 56, Jacksonville 57, both Tampa and Orlando at 61, and Miami 66. Now let's look at our lows for when it gets even chillier tonight. We have Tallahassee at 38, Jacksonville 39, Tampa and Orlando both also at 44, and Miami a little bit warmer at 60 degrees. And now for your 5-day forecast. We have in Saturday, 63 degrees for your high, 48 for your low with a 30% chance. And with Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, it's going to stay for the highs in the 60s and 50s and the lows all in the 40s. Back to you guys over at the desk.
Coming up in sports, another surgery for Mackenzie Milton.
Plus, a couple of big games coming up for UCF basketball. We'll tell you what you need to know about this weekend's matchups.
afternoon, Knights fans. I'm Nick Santiago. Let's dive into what's happening with UCF and Orlando sports this week. Today marks a big step in the recovery process for UCF quarterback Mackenzie Milton. Milton underwent surgery this morning at the Mayo Clinic in Minneapolis for the knee injury he suffered on November 23rd against USF. Milton had 4 previous surgeries to correct nerve damage, but those injuries have healed, now allowing him to fix the issues regarding the knee. It's uncertain if the soon-to-be senior QB will be able to play in 2019. How quickly he recovers from the surgery will be a big indicator as to whether the Hawaiian will be under center next season. The best and the brightest NFL players are in Orlando this week for the 2019 Pro Bowl. Players like Seattle Seahawks QB Russell Wilson and Philadelphia Eagles offensive tackle Lane Johnson signed autographs for fans who came out to support them. Eagles safety Malcolm Jenkins says it's exciting to be here in Orlando playing in the Pro Bowl in front of fans of all teams.
It's just kind of everybody celebrating football and the best of the best. So I'm just honored to be a part of that.
Fans have the opportunity to see the Pro Bowl trophy and try some NFL skill challenges, including kick tic-tac-toe, 40-yard dash, vertical jump, precision passing, and more. The AFC team has won the Pro Bowl the last 2 years. The Pro Bowl festivities run through Saturday at ESPN Wide World of Sports, leading up to the Pro Bowl on Sunday at Camping World Stadium. The basketball teams are back in action this weekend with the men heading to Memphis. The Tigers are currently 5th in the AAC standings, just 1 game behind the 5-1 Knights. A key for UCF will be forcing the Tigers to shoot from deep. Memphis is coming off a loss last night in which the team shot 1 of 23 from downtown against Temple. Another key will be stopping Kyron Davenport and Jeremiah Martin, the team's leading scorers. BJ Taylor says that his team is up for the challenge and ready to go for this Sunday.
I think the biggest thing is, not taking them lightly. It's a road game in conference, so we got to be ready to go. We can't focus on their record or anything like that. We just got to be ready to play.
The meeting will mark the first time that Orlando Magic legend and current Memphis head coach Penny Hardaway will face the Knights. The Knights will seek their 10th win in their last 11 games. The Knights and Tigers tip off at 4 p.m. Sunday on CBS Sports Network. On the women's side, the Knights face their toughest test yet. After coming off an overtime nail-biter Wednesday, UCF heads to Connecticut to face the UConn Huskies. The Huskies placed 3rd in last week's AP poll, behind last year's national champion Notre Dame and Big 12 powerhouse Baylor, the only team to defeat the Huskies this season. Despite the tall task, UCF is up for the challenge and not intimidated by their big opponent. All right, that's all we have for sports today. I'm Nick Santiago. Back to the desk with Tanisha and Zach.
And that's all the time we have for right now. Thanks for joining us. Remember, you can always keep up with us during the week on Twitter at UCF Knightly News and on YouTube for our daily live streams at 1 p.m.
If you've got a story that you want us to know about, send it our way. You can reach us at nightlynewsucf@gmail.com. Thanks for watching and have a great day.